audible to everyone? Okay. So in today's session, we are going to see here customer register process end to end. Okay. So we are going to create one HTML form for customer and store data into DB on click submit. Okay, this is a process we are just doing. So for that, if you look at the backend coding part, already we wrote a customer controller with a create operation. So there we have to pass the customer object with a name, email, gender, image path, mobile number, address, PAN and other card details. Okay, for that we of course created one entity and that is created for displaying the data here, but even we have to write a form. So what are the coding steps we are going to write here? If we just observe, step number 1, okay, define one service interface method we have to add a service method that takes customer object and make backend post method call. Okay, so if you make backend post method call, then it is actually going to call this method here slash customer slash create returns a string type. So this string we store actually in the any format here. So I am writing a method in a customer service here. If you look at it, it's a customer service.ts. Under the services folder, I am writing a method here. There, writing a method create customer. The input is actually customer object. It's a form data. Okay. Now there we are actually calling this dot http dot post method. Okay, so we have to construct the URL in such a way with the customer URI slash create slash customer slash create, you can see in the backend. Okay, and the input object we need to pass as a request body. This customer object we are passing. And we need to mention one header parameter that's actually response type. It's a text. Like this we have to write. So this dot. Okay, so the response type, if you don't mention, the default type will be taken as a JSON. If the return type is a string, in the backend application, if the return type is string, please mention the response type as a text. If the return type is a non-string, something like a list of customer or something like customer, then you don't mention anything. The default will be JSON. Okay, so this is one we have to write here in the customer service TypeScript file. So we just add a method here. Okay, but we have to mention the return type. It's the observable of any. So that any is internally string representation, it is going to store here. Step number 1. Step number 2, we have to create a new component to show the customer create a new component to register a customer. Service is generic, but component we have to create ngg component customer dash create. Okay, we have to generate a component here. Now look at, it's a customer component and company component. Customer create component also will come now. There I'm typing this command ng angular g generate c component customer create. It should come under the folder called components. So 3 files generated and 1 file updated. After generating here, we are working on HTML form concept. So activate HTML forms concept. It's a one-time effort. One time for all modules. So if you're working with the HTML forms concept, you should go to src app module.ts. Inside this module, under the import section, you should add forms module. It gives automatic import statement. If it is not added, you add it manually. Imports forms module. It will enable HTML form, and form data will be bounded to one object, actually customer object. Otherwise just we have to read individual form data. Okay, so here open app module.ts here. Add import. Under imports array, forms module. Look at one more time. app.module.ts, we have to add forms module, and under the imports array, we have to mention this. Now step number 4. Okay, now we have tried the code in the component section, customer create, TypeScript file opening. Okay, so here first you have to declare variables. One, I'm just creating a customer object. So we are just creating a new customer object. ID I'm just giving number 0. Name I'm just giving empty. Email empty. Gender empty. Image path empty. Address null. PAN card null. And like this I just created empty object. It's a constructor with the default values allocated. So here we have to do dependency injection for service. It's a customer service. Okay, so here we have to define a method here. It's a create customer. This one is actually going to call service method. Okay, so if you want, you can just write a simple alert on click submit is calling or not. So there I'm writing it's a service dot, it's a create customer and passing the customer object. And this customer object will be filled by HTML form. We have to create it now. Form data will be loaded into customer object. Okay, there I'm just calling subscribe method. Okay, on successful next. Okay, just what we are trying to take here, we'll get some input that is data and loading into message, creating a variable, it's a message in. Okay, of course I'm just writing even. So but here it's not any type, so this says property has no initializer and it's not defined. So you can add a constructor or else you can say undefined type also, like this also you can write, but you cannot pass here. That's another problem, so constructor is required. So there I'm writing the message, success message will come to backend to front end. Okay, so else it's a error scenario. Whatever the error we get, like this we are writing. So when you click on submit button, on submit it is actually called. Okay, and of course once you submit the data, okay, so then we have to mention the message and we have to create this customer object again empty. I'll show why we have to write that first after showing that process. Okay, so these are the steps. Declare the variable, dependency injection, nothing to be written in ngInit now, on submit. Okay, so here TS code and HTML form we have to create. Okay, there I'm just taking the help of customer module here, customer component.html. So something like div section. Just I'm taking this create component, customer register. The body I'm just creating a font. Okay, so I'm just taking a bootstrap design. So I'm just taking a bootstrap design here, where we'll be having a label, and second one is actually input. Of course, you can take form group also. Input type is equals to, name is equals to, ID is equals to, and even we have to write ng model. It's a two-way binding. So this is a row we have to write. Of course, we are going to create one error section also later. So in case of invalid data, we have to say please enter the data. Please choose a success message here like that. This one. It's a one row. Which I'm writing here. It's a new row. Okay, if you look at, so we have model, customer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 inputs required here. It's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now if you look at here, so it's a name. We have to write input type is equals to text, name is equals to name, id is equals to name. But this should be, if you go to TypeScript file, look at the object name, it's a customer. That object name dot field name, like this we have to. So here we have to write this in the same way. Input type is equals to text, it's an email, customer dot. I just pressed right click, format document. So it is actually converted like this. If you don't want, you can keep like this. So the next one, it's a gender. Gender, you can make radio button or drop down. So I'm just writing here. It's a input type is equals to radio, name is equals to gender, ID gender 1. Okay, here I'm writing customer dot gender. It's a male and the value is equals to male. It's a female. It's a gender 2. Okay, just I'm writing label also here. It's a customer name, customer email, customer gender, image path, actually we have to choose one upload option, but temporarily okay. Write a script and just when you click on upload, it is going to call IFGBB API. It's a mobile. Address, PAN card ID, so it's other ID. Okay, in the bottom, of course, you can print even customer using JSON pipe. So what if we just enter this, what will happen? You can just see. I did not even create submit button. You can see the output if you just type what will happen. Okay, so here, of course, we have to bind to backend applications even. Okay, and we have to create one hyperlink to show this option. It's a navbar component. There we have company and customer. So when you click on this customer, it will go to customer component. We have to create a dynamic drop down. If you just look at here, it's a bootstrap. for nav bar, there if you look at drop down code is there. So I'm taking the same and here paste. So drop down I'm just giving as a customer. Hyper reference nothing required. A router link is required. It's a customer. So view all. Now I'm just going to give a router link. Customer create. Register. So we have to write a customer create routing component here. App routing module TS. If you look at path component, customer create component. Of course, you could have given even customer all also like this. It's a customer all and a customer create. That's fine. There's no mistake. Okay, this is a navigation bar we just create. It's a company and customer individual link I'm just removing. This one I just created. Still I did not connect it to backend. Okay. So but meanwhile I'm just running this application and showing here only front end application. ngserve -- open. Still I did not link with the backend. I did not start the backend application. I think we have to add common model to use pipes. Okay, customer I'm just going, of course, and register if you see here. Name, see here, it's updating. If you look at sample, okay, this actually it's an object in TypeScript. Okay, so I'm just showing here email, Ajay, mail, image path 88. Just I'm writing dummy mobile number 888, HYD, PAN, DYDY 8866, L like this. Other. So that is actually NG model by default connects the two-way direction. I don't want this. So I'm showing this. But here I just want to add one more. Form just should be in a design format. It looks a bit ugly. I'm just adding here class equals to form hyphen control. Okay, I just want to add a button. Like that. We'll write some validations one by one even. Okay, so if you just type anything in this input, it will automatically update in this object and this field. In this object, in this field, it will automatically update. This object actually present in TypeScript. Here, this object. So that actually we bound here. ng model makes two-way binding here. That's why just to show that what exactly data it contains, I'm just showing here. It's a customer with a JSON pipe. Means convert the data into JSON format and print. Okay, so here I'm just writing name, sample. See, it's updating. I'm just printing here. That means ng model is working fine. Of course, not required. Just to show. Now here at form tag level, I'm just writing here ng submit. Okay. So when you submit the form, where should we go? So we should go to create customer. So once it is successfully done, we'll get one message actually. That message I just want to show in the bottom. For that, I'm just creating a div. Class is equals to card hyphen footer. Just I'm printing the message here. Okay, let me add a customer. Ajay. Ajay@gmail.com. Mail. Image path. So I'll take it from postman here. Okay, click on create button. I forgot to say start this. Here if you see F2 well, console. So failed in the connection, it is showing here. No servers are available for customers. Just now started. So you can see image created. Customer created, you can see here. Now if you go and click on view all, see I'm able to see the data here. Okay, so you can add one more customer. Okay, Syed. Click on create here. See, still it is inserted, but still data is showing same, right? Actually, form should be cleared. On submit, on create, form should be cleared. So on success, but still it is having same data. For that, what I'm trying to do here. So here on success, I'm just clearing the form. On success, but not on failure. So if you just come here, it's a view all and register sam@gmail.com. Once you click on create, data will be inserted. Insert query will be triggered in the backend, and this form also will get clear. Click on create button, see form data also clear. We have tried some validations. See, without giving any data, if you click on create, it's showing customer created 4. Okay, there should be back-end validations and front-end validations. Okay, so we have tried here. So if you look at customer create register, view all on empty record is there. So that's invalid thing. We have to write some validations here. Okay, hope you remember the validations part which I explained before. Of course, I'll revise the beginning. Okay, so under the TypeScript file, if you look at here, so I have just cleared the form here. That is one new thing added here. Giving the same TypeScript content here. HTML form I'm just giving. Validation part is still pending. Okay. So I have just taken Angular form validation part. In the mini project also it's there. In the mini project third link also Angular form validation part is there. Yeah, this one. You can just see this notes. So how to write the validations. So in case of invalid and dirty or touched. So invalid means it actually having some requirements, validation requirements. If it's not meeting, it's invalid. Dirty means actually form data, some X value is there, change it to Y value. When the value is changed of form. Okay, touched means when you just click inside this box and you just come outside also it's touched to show the empty message. In case of invalid, dirty or touched. Okay, and when should we display the error? In case of required errors object, display one message. In case of minimum length object, display one message, and maximum length object, display one message. So that depends on the type actually here. Validations concept is there. You can just, of course, I'll write full validations here. Okay, that we are going to see. And we are going to use one free API imgpb. Okay, so api.imgpb. Okay, if you want, you can just go through this one. So what kind of JSON object will come? How to make a curl request here? This is a API to get the API key here. Okay, I have to register this account. We can check the previous example even. Okay, then we will write stock data for a particular customer application. Okay, you can see here we wrote up to this. The same code I gave here. Okay, so validation part is pending. Tomorrow, that is 15th, right? 15th Friday, that is actually tomorrow, is holiday. Okay, we have no session tomorrow. So practice this complete example. I'm just giving one module that is called stock module. try to implement the similar work by taking the inputs. I'll update. Okay, work on this module here tomorrow if possible. Okay, we have next regular session on Saturday 16th. Okay. Okay, so thank you for session. We'll continue. Next class is on Saturday. Okay. Thank you for session.